Hey everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. We are just days away from the Indy Pro, which is why I'm talking to this man. This is one of the guys you're going to be looking for. Please welcome from Colorado, Dorian Haywood. What's up, Dorian?
What's up, everybody? Hey, thanks for having me, Ron.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I've been following your progress. I'm very, very impressed. I've been a fan of yours for a while. I see you getting better and better. Last year at the Tampa when you took sixth, but to me that's the best look I've ever seen from you. And I think you look better than that now already with still, the whole peak week to go. So let's start there. Do you feel like this is the best you've ever looked right now?
Well, I gotta say yes. My thing is, I kind of started as a smaller bodybuilder, and every year I've just put on more and more and more mass until the point where I'm now a really competitive professional bodybuilder.
Hold on,
last
smaller?
year,
What do you mean smaller? When were you small? I don't remember that.
My first show I did in 2000, and I was 136 pounds.
What?
Now I'm planning on competing at like 252 here in Indy next week.
136 pounds?
Yeah.
Come on. You're like 5'9"?
Yeah, 5'10".
Wow. How's that even possible? What did you like diet on like rabbit food or something? I don't understand.
No, I was just kind of I think I was a late bloomer. I was one of the smallest guys in my class. And I actually kind of took on bodybuilding to help me be a better wrestler. I was an underweight wrestler.
Huh.
And I used diet strategies I found in bodybuilding magazines and weightlifting strategies to help me gain weight and increase my performance. And it worked great. And that led me to where I am now.
So did you wrestle in college?
Briefly, I went to Cumberland College.
Okay. So
And
what weight class
I was supposed to wrestle 141 there.
Okay.
My senior year of high school, I was wrestling 125.
Wow. Okay. Boy,
yeah.
You deserve a lot more credit than I've been giving you. I didn't realize you started out that small. I thought, Dorian looks like he's got a big frame, big stocky dude. I just assumed you were always kind of a husky big dude, but wow, good for you.
No, quite the opposite. I think, I don't have those. You got some of those guys that will go pro really early because they got that huge frame.
Yeah.
But that was never me. I just had to put on layer and layer of muscle until I was competitive.
Yeah. I don't think we've spoken since, I think we talked last year, a little before Tampa, and we didn't really talk about the 2020 year. It was very challenging for pretty much everybody. As a bodybuilder, was your gym shut down for a lot of 2020?
Yeah, I train at Armbrust Pro Gym here in Denver, Colorado. And it's a great gym, but everything going on with politics in this city, they shut it down, and it was down for several months.
Wow. Yeah, because we know I talked to Phil Heath. We did an interview about a month before the last Olympia, and he told me he was sneaking in there. Dylan gave him a key or something, and he would park around back so nobody would bust him, because apparently everyone knows what cars he drives. But it's okay now. I think we can admit, because I think all of us who are very serious bodybuilders, we knew somebody that would let us into a gym at some point, at night or whatever. Were you able to at least get in there once in a while?
Well, I kind of I made a garage gym that turned into an awesome training facility. Oh, wow. It was a smart business move, and it kept me. And I don't think I skipped a beat. I improved last season just like I improved every other season.
Wow, tell me about this, because the last person I talked to that had a really cool garage setup was Brad Rowe, who was training Mike Tyson out of his garage. But yeah, tell me about your setup. This sounds interesting.
It's real similar, and I think Brad, he's going to continue to do that same business model. Yeah. But the day that everything shut down, the Armbrust owner, Dylan Armbrust, he let me know what was going on, and I immediately sourced some equipment. So I got some good stuff. I got a leg press, squat rack, bench presses, cable crossovers, everything I need to be able to sustain me as a professional bodybuilder, as well as my personal training clientele. Wow.
So do you still train there sometimes, or do you,
No, not too much. Armbrust, that gym is awesome. The environment there is very motivating, and I enjoy training there. So unless it's like pound and snow here or something, I won't mess with my garage gym.
You posted a video of a storm. What did you guys get, a storm like 6 weeks, 8 weeks? It wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
What did you get, like 3 feet of snow, 4 feet? It looked ridiculous.
Yeah, it pounded us. I think 3 feet's right.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That sucks at any point for anybody to clear out. I assume that's your responsibility to clear the snow out of your home.
HOA, baby.
But when you're dieting and stuff, and you must have already been like halfway through the diet at that point when that storm hit, right?
Yeah, it's daunting, man. Like I said, luckily I got the HOA to take care of that stuff for me.
Okay. what does that stand for? Housing something?
Homeowners Association.
Oh, you're in a condo. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They clear everything out for us.
Yeah, I'm in a house, man. It's all on me. Damn it. Maybe I should get a condo. So yeah, Armrest Pro Gym, I'm really starting to realize what a great gym that must be, because I just interviewed that young guy, Martin Fitzwater, brand new pro, 24. He moved from, I don't know if it was Wyoming or Montana. He moved
Wyoming, yeah.
just for that gym. Specifically, he moved there to train there. You got yourself, you got Phil Heath, him, Brett Wilkins, his girl, Ivana.
Yeah, we got Adam Young, Heather Grace. We have a lot of Olympians. We have a lot of talent coming out of there and coming up out of there.
Yeah, Denver. Who would have thought,
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought that would be like a hotbed of bodybuilding, but it seems like it really is.
Yeah, we've got a great crew out here.
I've never asked you, because I asked him because he grew up in even higher altitude, which is like 2,000 feet higher than Denver. How long have you been in Denver?
Just over 10 years now. I moved here from Florida, but I grew up in Indiana.
Okay. Oh, so you'll be back home in a few days.
Yeah, I've always really wanted this Indiana Pro Show because that's kind of my home state, and I have all my fan base coming to see me there.
And we missed. You've done all 3 Indy Pros, because we missed. They didn't get to put one on last year. Dave was
planning on it.
He wanted it, yeah. So you've done 10th place the first year there, 6th place the second time, and then hopefully this will be kind of get you up even higher this time for sure, dude. Tell me what it is about that show, because this is my first time going. I'm pretty excited because Dave seems like a really enthusiastic, go-getter type of promoter. And I'm also excited, and don't get mad, people from other divisions, but the only pro divisions are open men and 212 bodybuilding. I was like, yes. I respect all the divisions. Let me put that out there. I respect all of them. Everybody works hard, but that's my bad. I started off a long time ago following the sport and competing, and it was only bodybuilding. So I'm all about the bodybuilders. For yourself, is it a little easier to do a pro show when there's only 2 pro divisions rather than now we have 11 divisions?
I don't think it really matters to me. I think they've got these things so well organized for the pros. They know exactly when they're going to go on. So I just need to be where I need to be when I'm supposed to be there. And I've never really noticed any of these other categories really clogging up my day or slowing things down. Everything seems to be run like clockwork, especially with the way that the Wings of Strength organizations running everything. And even Dave Bauer's show, they've got this down like a fine oiled machine.
I gotta say, all the promoters, I take my hat off, because they do have to coordinate a lot of people, and they keep it all running on schedule, which is to me, that's amazing in and of itself. I have to ask you, last year at Tampa, you shaved your head, and I was like, damn it, Dorian has hair. I can understand if you were, you got about as much as me, dude. We're getting up there. But I mean, I said, oh, he's got hair. He's got good hair. Why did he shave it off? There's enough bald guys in sports. So please tell me you're keeping the hair for this.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep some hair on top of my head. I wanted to see what that totally bald looked like on stage, and I liked it on stage, but that's about it.
Yeah, I can see where it's it's easier, especially like prep week. It's one less thing to worry about is doing your hair. But yeah, I mean, if you have hair, show that hair off while you still have it, because eventually none of us are going to have hair if we live long enough. So enjoy it while
Take your word on it. I'll be sporting hair here in Indy next week.
Yeah. So tell me about your coach, because I don't think Dave Kalick gets enough props.
Oh man, Dave's the man. I can't give enough appreciation or gratitude for everything this guy's done for me. Yeah. He's like my godfather to bodybuilding. Not only is he a coach, but he's a mentor and a friend.
How did you start working with Dave?
I met him, well, one year in 2014, I had a really successful year, and I won junior nationals, and I had some good placements at USA's, and that was my first call out at USA's. And 2015, man, I got skunked. I got buried in the lineups. I think I got 11th at the USA's. I think I got 12th at North Americans. And on that day in 2015, North Americans is when I met Dave. And I don't know, something clicked. It was almost like a spiritual connection. I really wasn't looking for a coach. I've always coached myself. But something about the way that we connected and kind of our vision and the similarities and the way that we look at bodybuilding, it was almost a no-brainer. We started working together and we just we thrived together.
Yeah, and you turned pro that at the Nationals that year, right?
The next year, 2016, and after I teamed
USA.
up with Dave, we pulled a second place at USA's.
Yeah.
To Rashid, in third place to Justin Rodriguez, who I think I'm going to be seeing at Indy and in New York.
Yeah.
Then we took nationals.
Yeah. So, you know, I guess since you coach yourself, you don't have other coaches to compare him to, but what do you like about Dave's style? Is it more of a collaboration where you sort of both you know, throw a lot of ideas back and forth and come up with the best strategies?
Yeah, I did work with Dave Palumbo for one season for my last natural season in 2009, and he was great. And, you know, I still apply a lot of those principles.
Okay.
But then I started working with Dave in 2015. And I think the struggle with me and coaching me is knowing how to manage me. I don't like people telling me what to do because I kind of know what to do already. You know, I'm very instinctive with bodybuilding. There's certain feels and certain segments of the diet and the prep, and it's just things I've understand because I've been doing this for 24 years now. Yeah. And Dave trusts me. He listens to me, and he, you know, if I have an idea about something, I'll pitch it to him. And he'll throw it back at me and how he thinks it needs to be done. And we just really collaborate well together and communicate well together. And we've been getting better every year because of this.
Yeah, like I said, you're definitely getting better. You know, with you, the only thing I've always want to see more of is condition. And I've seen a progression over the past couple of seasons where you seem to be getting a better and better handle on it. You know, are you and Dave starting to figure out certain variables that lead to better condition versus things that in the past might have been hindering it?
We took a different strategy to this season. Kind of my thing is if I'm on a diet and I'm going to feel like I'm on a diet, I want to look like I'm on a diet. So generally I bust in with cardio right out of the gate in the prep and just get really lean really quick. But we didn't do that this time around. We focused on using the supplementation, using the additional muscularity I already put on my frame, and nutrition to drive me into shape and get me as close as possible. So I think we did like a 10-week prep.
Oh, wow.
Then the first 5 weeks, we didn't touch any cardio, not at all.
Wow.
Then I had a big trip. I went to New York, and I was going to go out to Bev's and see my coach and get some eyes on me. So I wanted to be in shape for that. That was the 5-week out mark. No, that wasn't. That was a 3-week out mark. Just 2 weeks ago. So I thought that was a big deadline, and I was pretty good shape then 2 weeks ago. And we kicked it up with cardio then. We did everything we needed to do to be conditioned for that showing, as well as be in the right place to peak for the Indy.
You know, I think you were messaging yesterday. I think you said one of your cardio sessions yesterday. Did you run up a mountain or a hill or something? What did you have to do? Sounded pretty crazy.
I went on a hike. I hiked around a mountain. There's all kinds of places out here in Colorado you can go hiking. There's so much natural beauty and places you can go. I went to a place called Mount Falcon. It's about a 15-minute drive from here. It turned out to be about a 100-minute walk. Good elevation gain and loss. And that was my last cardio session. Just kind of low and slow and grind all that body fat off.
Yeah. Today was your last leg workout?
I think my last tough one. I think I'll do like another pump workout, probably like Wednesday.
Okay.
Just pump some blood in there, get all the nutrients I'm trying to fill up on, get that in the muscle.
Yeah. You know, peak, everyone wants to know about peak week. And I don't want you to give away all Dave's secrets or your secrets, but generally speaking, are you doing some sort of like a carb depletion, carb load up process?
Oh yeah. And this is something, I think this is where my conditioning has been an issue. Is trying to figure out this fine balance, because I can really blow up big and I can fill out huge, or I can come in super flat. And I don't think me giving away my secrets is a secret, because what works for me might not work for you or work for anybody else. But I know what works for me because we've done this so many times. But generally, we go into a heavy depletion. Right now, I'm just coming out of a 6-day depletion where I'm doing about 150 grams of carbs or less per day.
Wow.
It's coming out to, between 2,000 and 2,500 calories a day. And that hurt.
I mean, this is a 200. This is a man over 250 pounds yourself we're talking about. That's not a lot of food. Oh.
No, it's not. And I was already pretty lean going into it. So anyways, I do a heavy depletion. Then here we are 6 days out. I'm going to start my load process. I just had a great meal. And I'm going to eat for about 3.5 days, probably about 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day. And I'll start bringing it back on Thursday because I can get good and full, but my thing is I got to get my gut tight.
Yeah.
So I got to get everything out of my bowels and out of my gut by the time I hit that stage on Saturday morning.
That's I don't want to get too gross people out, but I mean that is a big deal for anyone that's competing. You need to be completely emptied out in the in the colon if you're going to have a nice flat, especially when we're talking about bigger guys like yourself. A guy who's 250 pounds and up. Just the amount of food that you're pushing in the off season and everything. It's I don't know how much is undigested sitting around in our colons, but without getting too graphic, do you do stuff like colonics or anything to help at the very
No,
end?
I've never done that. I really just rely on my nutrition, and I eat a lot of greens and stuff and a lot of roughage to make sure all that's kind of cleaned out and pushing along. Yeah. It's more understanding the void process and how long it takes to get everything out of there. Yeah. Because for me, as I bring my calories down, like if I was doing like a low carb day, usually day 2, at the end of day 2 is when my gut's the smallest. So I just need to figure out the appropriate time to deload the gut.
Yeah, because I mean that's such a balancing act. Is trying to eat enough to stay big and full, but keep your midsection small and flat. That's not an easy task at all. I mean, a lot of guys don't quite strike that right balance because it's a matter of like hours can make a huge difference.
I've been there. Yeah. I've been there. I've had a lot of critique, especially when I first went pro. Just hold that gut in, hold your gut in, or you ate too much before your show. I can see it. Yeah. That's just one of those problems that's 100% on me. That's my fault. I just can't do that. I got to come in right.
Yeah, like I said, it's not easy trying to figure out exactly how much without going over that amount. I imagine you take notes and but then again, the body changes from show to show. Your body, this prep, if you did exactly what you did last prep, you still wouldn't look exactly the same because this is a year later. So your body's not that same exact body that it was, 6, 8 months or a year ago. What I want to ask about your pose, there's one pose you do. I've never seen anyone hit it that you hit a most muscular, like out like this. And it's one of the craziest, thickest looking most musculars. Did you come up with that on your own or is that something? Because I never saw anyone else hit it quite that way. Where'd you figure that out?
No, actually, there's a couch and armrest. They've switched things around, but years ago, there's a couch and armrest. And sometimes I finish my workout and I'd be exhausted and I go kick back and lay back on this couch and look up at this big picture of Phil Heath hitting that crab the same way. And that's when he was doing his Olympia run and winning several in a row. And I figured if I'm going to emulate anybody's pose, might as well do it, emulate the best in the world.
Hey, you're right. You know what? Why didn't I think of that? That's exactly one of Phil's, because he hits a few different most musculars, but that's definitely one of his signature ones is with the arms kind of out like that. Because not many people can pull that off. You need to have a lot of shoulder, trap, and arms to pull that off.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. I mean, I kind of always did that pose, but just looking at exactly what he does, and I honestly, I've watched that guy for a decade now. I've studied him. Yeah. How he trains, how he poses, just the stuff I see in his contests and everything. And like I said, he's obviously doing something right. So I'm trying to emulate his pose, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I wouldn't ask everyone this, but you do train at his gym and you see him all the time. You might have a better insight. Do you think he's going to come back this year, or do you think he's retired maybe?
Well, in the past, when I've asked him this before his previous Olympia, he said he's never coming back. So even if I was to have the insider information, I don't know if I believe it or trust it. Do I think he'll come back? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he had a great showing in the last Olympia, but it wasn't his best showing by far. And I think for him to be able to produce what he's produced on that level is impossible for him to do again. Yeah.
I mean, seven years, he just dominated. I honestly I would have given him that 2010 Olympia that Jay's last win. I would have given that one to Phil too. So, technically he might have had 8. That thing's gone just a little differently that year. But nothing to prove, Phil. He's good. He's a legend.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So tell me about Indy Pro. Why does this, being from Indiana, does this show? First of all, when you heard that there was going to be an Indy Pro 3 years ago, you must have been pretty psyched.
Yeah, I was in it. My buddy, professional 212 bodybuilder Adam Young, he was like, "Hey, you doing the Indy Pro? Do it with me." So that's all I needed, just that little nudge. Yeah, I grew up in Indiana, 6th grade, all the way through my undergrad. I went to Ball State University, won the Mr. Ball State University bodybuilding contest twice.
Oh, wow.
It's just I'm excited to get back into my home state and represent for them because I don't think there's anybody else from Indiana doing this contest this year.
No, I'm trying to think of the only other people from Indiana that I know that are really doing well in the pros is, of course, Lunsford, Derek Lunsford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's awesome. 212 dude.
Yeah.
Plus 2014 when I won junior nationals, Dave Bowers, the contest promoter for the Indy Pro, was in that show.
Ah.
And yeah, I really didn't know him too well back then. And I didn't know he was going to be a show promoter in the future. But we've just developed a relationship over the years, and he seems like a great guy, and I really appreciate that he's putting on a show in Indy. So at least I can do is show up and make it a better show for him.
Yeah. So you're going to New York, right? Well, it's Tampa, but we're still in COVID world, so nothing's quite the way it's supposed to be. But so when you're doing these shows back to back, have you ever done pro shows a week apart like that before?
Several times. I prefer to do it like that. Yeah.
Do you find you get better and better as the shows go on, or do you maintain, the same exact condition the whole time?
Well, last year I think I did 3 shows in 6 weeks.
Wow.
And 2 of them was New York and California back to back. I think Tampa was the first one, and I came in just a little flat, but I had good shape and I was dry. I was pretty happy with my look, and I had a highest placement of the year.
Yeah.
New York, I came in, I wanted to be bigger and rounder, and that unfortunately translated to bigger and rounder in the gut as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think the judges respected that too much. But I turned it around the very next week for California, had a really good look.
Yeah. When you say you're flat, can anyone else really tell you're flat other than like you and Dave? Because I mean, when you have that much muscle like you do, like someone like Rami could be flat. Who's going to know? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's. I think you're the only one, and maybe the people that are close to you that see you all the time would really be able to tell. Because I was at that show, and I never would have said you looked flat. I just thought conditions getting better and better. This is probably tightest look I've ever seen on Dorian.
I specifically remember being on stage at Tampa last year, pop it up, hit my front double bicep, and it's like when I hit my front double bicep right now, I can feel that muscle expand against my skin, just everything push apart, and I can feel that size and density and the contraction, and I just didn't have that on stage. It was like I didn't have that fullness in my arms and legs.
Well, I mean, your legs are gigantic, dude. Who's gonna know if your legs aren't quite as big as they usually are? I wouldn't.
I guess you're right. Some of those high level judges, I'm sure, can see it because they've seen me enough. But I'm very lucky for a white guy. I don't get very flat. I got great round muscle shapes. I'm very blessed in that aspect. And it's really hard to get me in that empty look because my body just wants to retain glycogen.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what did you weigh at the start of this prep? If you're like over 250 now still?
I hit my highest weight I've ever hit by 0.2 pounds. 278.2 was my high this off season.
Yikes.
Now last year I hit 278 and I got down to 238.
Wow.
This year my low prep was 2 days ago at 248. So I think I'm gonna be on stage at least 10 pounds bigger.
Wow. So is that a 10-pound gain or is that 10 pounds that you used to like over diet away?
I think it's a little combination of both. I think it's the gain as well as I think there's times in contest history past where I've overdone it with cardio and my legs thin out as a result of that.
Yeah.
I think the fact that I've minimized my cardio, my legs are still nice and full. All my body is really full for the most part. So
I think we're starting to see, I don't want to say a trend away from cardio, but I'm talking to more and more people that are figuring out they don't need to do as much cardio as maybe they have in preps past, and they're still getting the same condition, but they're holding on to more muscle. So, maybe we're going to start seeing a shift where people aren't doing 16 weeks of 45 minutes fasted cardio on the step mill every damn morning. I don't know.
Yeah, everybody's got their balance. And I got to say, I feel like I've been like the healthiest in this prep, just the way I feel, my overall well-being, my overall inflammatory levels. They feel like they've been better than ever. And I think I've been really just focusing on my rest. When I train like an animal on steroids that has rabies. And I just like to go ape shit in the gym. And it's like, I understand now. I need to limit that. I need to save just a little in the tank so I don't burn myself out, so I can save enough energy to do my posing or save enough energy to do my cardio. Just finding that balance between not overtraining myself and get enough rest, I think has been the big kicker in why this has been such a successful prep for me.
I think you're onto something there. I think a lot of bodybuilders, they find they train harder in the last 8-10 weeks of a prep than they normally would even in the off season. But you're doing all the cardio, your carbs are down, your calories are down. Your body doesn't have the resources really to fully recover from that. So it doesn't make sense to be pushing your body that much further with the weights, because really, as a bodybuilder, you're always trying to gain muscle. Even you could be like a week out from a show and you're still thinking in your heart of hearts, I'm still getting bigger. But
no, you're not. And that honestly, that's something else I've learned from Phil. I'd come in and I'd destroy the gym and just be an animal in there. And I look over at Phil. He's not making any noise. He's not making any commotion. He's not even going all that heavy. Yeah. But he's definitely tuned in with that mind-muscle connection and, the stress load he's putting on his muscle. So I think I took a little note out of his book and, monitoring my training intensity.
Yeah. Well, whatever you've been doing, a combination of different things that you've changed seems to be working out for the better, because I have a pretty good eye, and I've never seen you with this balance of fullness and condition right before a show before. I'm pretty excited about what you're going to show us at Indy in a few days. Yeah.
Me too, man. Me too. I really am. I've been busting my ass for this. Bodybuilding is something I take very seriously. It's like it is a full-time job for me, along with my other careers. And I'm very passionate about it. I've continued to get better every single year, and I plan to continue to do the same thing until I'm on top.
Cool. Well, I want to make sure everyone follows you on Instagram. It's drfit, like Dr. Fit, because he is a doctor of chiropractic. drfit.Dorian Haywood. It's Hay. Don't do an E like I did one time and find the wrong guy. So check him out on Instagram. Do you have a YouTube channel yet?
Yeah, I've got the same thing, Dr. Fit YouTube channel.
Okay. Dr. Fit, Dorian Haywood, check him out. And we're going to be covering the whole thing for Muscular Development. So check out musculardevelopment.com this weekend, guys. You're going to see Dorian and the other guys mix it up. It's going to be a great show. Really looking forward to it, Dorian. I think this is going to be another season where you level up. I really think so.
I'm right there with you, man. I'm doing everything I can to make that happen too. I look to put on a show next weekend, and I'm glad you're going to be in attendance. See this.
All right. Well, everybody, check it out for sure. It's going to be a good show, a really good show. I'm excited about being there for the very first time. Dorian, I wish you the best of luck. I'll see you there, and we'll see how it all shakes out, right? Cool.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
All right. Everybody, thanks for watching Ronline Report. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do that. Please like and hit the bells and all that good stuff. We appreciate it very much, and we'll see you next time.